it's also very possible that the vast majority of them will go Republican or the vast majority of them will go Democrat.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think it's worth thinking about just how different that election would feel like, even though it just turns on a couple of points. You know, if the Democrats win 20 plus of these seats, suddenly we're talking about the Democrats winning 40 seats in the House. If the Republicans narrowly squeak out these wins, even though in terms of what it would really say about the country's attitudes, it's basically the same thing. We're talking about a couple of points in a handful of districts.
Why even do this? Does it actually matter if polling is, as you say it is, a miracle, if it actually works?
Wow.
Polling is inevitably going to be out there. Someone's going to do it. And so then the question is, are those polls going to be transparent, nonpartisan, high quality? And I think that it all matters because, you know, this is democracy. And in the end, our system of government is based in part on how
Let's cut Melissa off.
our democratic institutions react
How about not?
to the public. And the decisions that are being made by our elected officials are all based on their assumptions about where the race is at. I mean, this whole conversation about the conduct of the President of the United States has been based on us trying to read into what they think is going on in the race.
And they think they know
and they think it's going on in the race based on their polling. And we can go down a long list of things that have happened over the last decade, potentially including the election of the president himself, that are really based on decisions that were made based on the interpretation of polls. And bad polling is really dangerous. Like, I think that it's not a coincidence that a big chunk of Americans, white voters without a college degree, have been systematically underrepresented in the polls probably for a decade. No one really noticed. And then, you know, in 2016, that same group declared that they were a silent majority and backed an insurgent candidate who listened to them, even though most of the smart analysts, based on their bad interpretation of mediocre polling data, had concluded that Democrats didn't need white working class voters to understand them. Those things are deeply related. You might not wish that horse race polling was the way that our democracy worked. You might wish that politicians didn't make decisions based on who's up or who's down or how they might win, but they do. And so it is important for the democracy to have the most accurate information on how the public is behaving. There's no doubt in my mind that polls profoundly affect the decision making of basically all parts of our democratic process, whether that's the behavior of officials in Washington, the conduct of the campaigns on the campaign trail, and even the decision making of journalists and media organizations. So if the polls are not working, then the whole democratic process is
So the stakes of polling are higher than whether we get it right on Tuesday, whether we get it right on any Tuesday in November.
Yeah. So we better do them well.
Thank you, Nate.
Thanks for having me.
The Daily is supported by Sleep Number, featuring the new Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed. The Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed is designed to know, sense, and automatically adjust to sleepers. Available in a local Sleep Number store. And by YouTube Originals and Outside Attractions, presenting Viber Club, starring Susan Sarandon as a mother struggling to free her captured journalist's son. Also starring Matt Bomer and Edie Falco. In theaters Friday. Distribution of The Daily is made possible by American Public Media.
The Daily is powered by the journalism of the New York Times and is distributed by APM, American Public Media. You can go deeper into the stories you hear on The Daily at nytimes.com/The Daily. That's it for The Daily. I'm Michael Barbara. See you Monday.
It's a minute before 10 here at 89.3 KPCC, and up next it's Fresh Air with Terry Gross. At 11, Q from the BBC. At midnight, we go live from the BBC in London.
It's been a week of funerals in Pittsburgh. We'll speak with a rabbi there who has profound responsibilities. Also, Barbra Streisand.
It's been a horrible week.
Recent events, her new political songs, and that remake of A Star Is Born.
Why is that so important? Everybody asks me that. Why is everybody so fascinated about that?
Saturday and weekend edition from NPR News.
Tomorrow morning starting at 5 on 89.3 KPCC.
Hi, my name is Robert Shanazarian. I'm the owner of Noor, located in Pasadena, and I am an underwriter of KPCC. I definitely encourage other business owners to check out KPCC. It's been wonderful working with them, and their staff is incredible. And the listenership, the people that listen to the programs, are exactly my target market. For underwriting information, go to kpcc.org/support/underwriting.
This is 89.3 KPCC Pasadena, Los Angeles, a community service of Pasadena City College, offering lifelong learning with over 50 free non-credit courses open to all. Learn more at pasadena.edu.
From WHYY in Philadelphia, this is Fresh Air. I'm David Bean Cooley, in for Terry Gross.
My name is Hassan Minaj, or as I'll be known in a few weeks, number 830287.
That's former Daily Show correspondent Hassan Minaj doing stand-up at the 2017 White House Correspondents' Dinner about being a Muslim American and the son of Indian immigrants in President Trump's America. He says he grew up different from other kids and different from his immigrant father, who didn't approve of the things Hassan wanted to do, like listen to hip-hop, watch cable TV, and have fun.
His rules with me growing up were very simple. No fun, no friends, no girlfriends. You can have fun in med school, which is just like a huge lie.
Hassan Minaj has a new Netflix weekly political comedy series, Patriot Act. Also, I'll review Homecoming, the new mystery series starring Julia Roberts on Amazon Prime. First, the news.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Shay Stevens. President Trump made a stop in Huntington, West Virginia Friday as part of his final push for a strong Republican turnout on Tuesday. Dave Mistich of West Virginia Public Broadcasting reports that Trump is campaigning on behalf of GOP candidates in tight races.
Trump came to promote State Attorney General and U.S. Senate candidate Patrick Morrisey and Carol Miller, a businesswoman running for the state's 3rd congressional district. Despite West Virginia's lack of geographic proximity to the U.S.-Mexico border, Trump focused much of his speech on illegal immigration and a caravan of Central Americans currently headed north.
Democrats want to totally open the borders. They have the caravan. Let them in. You want to let them in?
West Virginia has the lowest foreign-born population in the United States. According to the Census Bureau, people born outside the U.S. make up less than 2% of the state's population. For NPR News, I'm Dave Mistich in Huntington, West Virginia.
Former President Obama spent Friday in Georgia and Florida, hoping to boost support for Democratic candidates. Obama told a Miami crowd that they should be concerned about the outcome of the midterms.
When I was president, Republicans voted more than a dozen times to get rid of protections for people with pre-existing conditions. Last year, they fell one vote short. One vote. If they win this Tuesday, they'll finally succeed. If they keep control of Congress, you better believe they're coming after your health care.
Obama welcomed some hecklers in the crowd, calling it interesting that people who won the last election are still mad. According to the University of Florida's election project, more people voted early this year than the number who cast ballots in all of 2014. The Food and Drug Administration has approved a new opioid tablet that is said to be many times stronger than fentanyl. NPR's Jake Harper reports that the agency approved sufentanil over the objections of 4 U.S. senators and consumer advocates.
The new drug is called Desuvia, and it's tiny. It's just 3 millimeters wide and meant to be dissolved under the tongue. The company says Desuvia will be useful in emergency settings when finding a vein is difficult. It estimates it'll take in $1.1 billion each year from the drug. But Dr. Rayford Brown says the FDA should have rejected Dasuvia. He's an anesthesiologist in Kentucky and chairs the advisory committee that weighed in on the drug.
We still have an opioid crisis. People are still dying, and I don't think that this is going to help us in any way.
He says the size and potency of the drug mean it will be sold and misused. But the FDA approved it Friday, and the company hopes to have it in hospitals early next year. Jake Harper, NPR News.
A partial building collapse at an Amazon facility in the Baltimore suburb of Dundalk has claimed at least one life and left another person missing. The National Weather Service had warned of thunderstorms, bringing strong winds and heavy rain to the area. This is NPR News. The Trump administration is again restoring sanctions on Iran that had been lifted under the 2015 nuclear deal. It takes effect on Monday. The U.S. is allowing waivers for 8 countries that import Iranian oil. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has issued 12 demands for getting the sanctions lifted again, including ending Iran's military engagement in Syria. President Trump pulled the U.S. out of the Iran nuclear agreement in May, calling it the worst ever negotiated by the United States. Police in New York City are still gathering evidence in the deaths of 2 Saudi Arabian sisters found dead on the banks of the Hudson River last week. Danny Lewis of member station WNYC has more.
16-year-old Tala Faria and 23-year-old Rotana Faria had been missing for several months before their bodies were found duct-taped together and fully clothed, with no obvious signs of trauma. Police say the 2 were originally from Saudi Arabia, but had lived in a shelter in Virginia after running away from home in Virginia last year. Officials say the sisters had accused family members of domestic abuse and had said they would rather kill themselves than return to Saudi Arabia. Police investigators said hours before their bodies were found, a passerby saw the 2 women praying by the river. For NPR News, I'm Danny Lewis in New York.
President Trump plans to meet his Chinese counterpart alongside the group of 20 meetings in Argentina. It'll be the first gathering of the 2 leaders since the beginning of the trade war between U.S. and China. Trump says that he knows China wants to make a deal. I'm Shay Stevens, NPR News in Washington.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include the Annenberg Foundation, committed to supporting, educating, and engaging communities in the United States and globally for more than 25 years. Learn more at annenbergfoundation.org and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Aretha Franklin. The Jackson 5. Chaka Khan. Those are just a few of the artists in a new collection of largely unseen photographs from the golden age of soul, R&B, and funk. Stories from the photographers who captured all of them next time on It's Been a Minute from NPR. Saturday night at 9 on 89.3 KPCC.
This is Fresh Air. I'm David Bianculli, editor of the website TV Worth Watching, sitting in for Terry Gross. Hasan Minhaj, formerly from The Daily Show, has a new series on Netflix called Patriot Act with Hasan Minhaj. It premiered last weekend, with new installments scheduled to appear each Sunday. In an episode which focused on America's relationship with Saudi Arabia, Minhaj criticized